What's up, guys? It's Justin back with a new video for you guys. Today is going to be a little bit different of a video. It's going to be, less technical and more just talking about psychology and just some advice that I want to give and sort of talk about it that I think is really important. And I think not a lot of people in the space and the traders talk about these specific things. And me being, a mentor, influencer trading, I want to give you guys the reality, right? The things that people really don't talk about, the hardships, the struggle, getting through these hard times, especially in, your early trading career and your journey. And I want to talk about that in this video. So the first thing I want to say is just a little, background of myself. And because I don't think I've really told this full story. I started trading sophomore year of high school. And at this time as a kid, I wasn't really a social kid. I didn't really have. I had a really close group of friends, but I always knew that I wanted to make money. My family always told me I'd probably become a lawyer because I was good at talking to people. I was good at negotiating and kind of getting my way. But I hated reading. I hated studying. Hated all that shit. And in high school, I had good grades, but not terrible. But I didn't really care for school, to be honest. And I always knew I wanted to, create something, create a business or, work for myself. That was my biggest thing. I didn't want to work for anybody else. And I never wanted to work some sort of, labor job. I always wanted to, be paid for my knowledge, not my time. So I ended up finding trading, started out, was like, yeah, I had I didn't even think that this was going to be something I was going to, fall in love with and, keep going. I was just kind of like, hey, let's try it out. Ended up getting into it. And in the first month, I was like, wow, wait, this could be, I could make this a career. And trading, the first 3 months of trading, I told myself that I was not going to stop unless I made this work. And the reason is something that I've struggled with my entire life, ever since I was a kid, that I didn't like about myself. I didn't like this, but I've come to now. I love this about myself now. But my biggest problem as a kid was I would never finish something. It was very hard. I would find something, learn about it, put a lot of time into it, and then I would get bored of it, and then I would drop it, and I would find something else. But this makes me a jack of all trades. I do graphic design. I know how to cook. I know how to, I played ice hockey. I know how to play. Just so much shit that I just, photography, video editing, all of these things that I've, put time into, but none of these things that I could, say that I was a master. A jack of all trades, master of none. And when I found trading, I told myself that I was going to be a master. And there was no other option for me. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to prove to myself that I could actually put more than a year of, because anything that I did before this, I would do maybe a year. And then I'd, still do it, but I wouldn't, put as much work in as I would before, because that motivation starts to die out. And then that's where discipline has to take over. And if you don't have that discipline, it's going to be very hard for you. So right when I got in, I knew I had to stay. I knew that I wasn't going to let me fail. I had to prove to myself that I wasn't going to give up on this. I was going to make this work, and I was going to be a quote master. My first year was very hard. My first 2 years was very hard. Just 2 years. And I lost lots of money. Not an insane amount, but I lost a lot of money for me, because all my money that I worked months and months, and all that money that I kept funneling back into trading, and I kept losing it. And it was because I was focused on the wrong things. I was so focused on that end goal. If this happens, then I'm going to be happy. If this happens, I'm going to be fucking rich. I'm going to be this. If this happens, that I'm so focused on the future and not the now. And my problem is I would come into the market every single day, not knowing what I'm looking for, always waiting, trying to predict whatever is happening. And I had no really solidified confident edge. I didn't have a confident edge. I didn't know what I was looking for. Another thing as well is I didn't have the discipline to sit in front of the market and not take a trade. I would wake up right when that opening bell opens. I'm itching to put on a trade, and I cannot handle my emotion. So for the first 2 years, I constantly was losing. Now, I would have, winning periods, maybe a winning week here and there, but at the end of the month, I was mostly always red. And at the time, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a pizza place, delivering pizzas, and then I was also working at a restaurant. I was bussing. And I was surrounding myself with people that, weren't that good for me. And it got to a point where I just had a realization. I was putting myself in an environment that wasn't doing well for me. And realizing these things and having the discipline to separate yourself from this is hard. It's very hard to do, especially when you're sacrificing, friends, family, whatever it is. But I ended up distancing myself from these people, some of my best friends, because all they were doing was nothing. They had no ambitions, no desires. They weren't pushing me to become better. They were dragging me down. And I had such big goals and big dreams and desires that does not fit into what they are. They would just sit around, smoke weed all day, whatever the fuck it is, had no ambition. Again, they're probably going to live here their entire life in a small town, just doing nothing. They'll be nobodies. And I didn't want to live like that. I wanted to have the freedom to do whatever I wanted. And I got to a point with trading where after 2 years in, there's no going back. There's no going back. Once you put so much time into something, failure is no longer an option. You've put so much time into this, failure is no longer an option. And you get to a point where thinking like that is both a good and a bad thing. The reason I say that is when you're so focused on becoming profitable, becoming this, quitting your 9-to-5, the biggest focus you're making in your head is making that money, right? This amount of money could change my life. This could change my life. It would just, $1,000 a day, $500 a day. I want this a day. I want this a day. The market's not going to give you that a lot of the time. That's in a perfect world. And a lot of the times, trading in the market, you need room for error. That's why risk management is so important. That's why understanding that losing is a part of the game, going through dry streaks. 2.5 years, I traded, or 2 years I traded options, and then I ended up switching to futures. And the reason was I had a very hard time managing risk. I would, trade 0 DTEs on SPY, and I liked SPY a lot. I traded pretty much SPY and QQQ options all the time. But it was very hard for me to manage risk because, you had to decide if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what day are you trading, what time of day, right? You have to understand IV, understand theta, understand time decay, all of these things that are affecting premium. And it was very hard for me to manage risk, so I switched over to futures. The first 3 months of switching over to futures, it was my best performance I've ever seen in my trading career. First 3 months after 2 years. And the reason why is because I started to simplify what I was doing. And I stopped caring about making money. I had a reset. I got to a point where I have been slapped in the face so many times, countless times, where I would make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And it got to a point when I switched over to futures where I basically said to myself, Justin, what the fuck are you doing? And I guarantee you, if you haven't had this, conversation with yourself, you will. You get to a point where you ask yourself, what the fuck are you doing? You did it again. How could you make this the same fucking mistake? How could you do this? How could you over leverage? How could you, be impatient? How could you, whatever the problem is, whatever you're doing, right? You get to a point where you come to a realization that there is no other way to be a successful trader than to have an insane level of discipline, than to be a fucking beast, than to put your entire dedication into what you're doing. That is the only way to be successful, in my opinion. And you start getting to a point where again, I kind of like to think of it as like a David Goggins mentality. I mean, you are the way that I think about trading, and I think what has made me successful so far is whenever there is some sort of setback, any sort of setback in your career, in anything, whether it be trading, setback in life, setback in your job, anything, whenever there is a setback, you always have to zoom out, bigger picture, longevity. Again, trading is longevity, right? Understand, say, okay, this happened today and it set me back, maybe this. And what was the actual problem? What's the setback? It could be a mental setback as well as financial, right? Especially with trading. Now, understanding those and understanding how to fix that in the future is what is going to be important. Because when I say setback, that's not even just financially, that's mentally as well. Like, for example, I had a setback last week because it was a losing week. It seemed like I couldn't win. I lost around, $10,000, $15,000, somewhere around there in the last 2 weeks. And now that's a setback, financial setback, but it's also a mental setback because I have to go into the market now trying to build that confidence back, right? That's when I lower my position size and I take my time. Getting over dry streaks. The biggest thing that I want to focus on, and I need you to focus on, is building that confidence back. If you're on a dry streak and you want to start making money again and you want to start building that, start trading like, you were before, whatever it is, whatever you want to be, your main focus needs to be building confidence, not making money. Because if you're in a dry streak, you're going to come into the market every single day focused on making whatever that money back is, saying, oh, my account used to be at, $5,000 and now I'm at, $3,000, or, I used to be at this and now I'm at this. Every single trade you go into, in the back of your head, you're looking at your fucking P&L being like, oh shit, I'm almost back to, where I was. And you end up just clogging your head in the way that you're thinking, bias, based off your bias, based off your edge, whatever it is. And you start causing bad habits. You just start building bad habits. So when you're going into trading, you have to be focused on building confidence, building good trading habits, right? Good risk management, proper position sizing. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. That is okay. You have plenty of time, but you have to position yourself that losing and being wrong won't affect you a lot. Now, again, of course you're going to be affected. You're going to lose money, but make sure that when you're in these early stages of trading, you are not allowing yourself to get burned as much as you possibly could be, in the past. And that was my biggest problem, is I would come in, being like, all right, let's work on the trading strategy. And I'd lose fucking 20, 30% of my account in a single day, if not, half my account when I first started trading, because I'm over leveraged. You think I'm focused on fucking improving as a trader if I'm losing half my account in a day? No, I'm not, because I'm focused on making money psychologically. I might say, oh, I want to be a good fucking trader, but you're not trading like it. You're not if you want to be a good trader, why the fuck are you doing what you're doing? Why? You know that you're making mistakes. You know that you're doing something wrong. You know it. Whether it be you're impatient, you're undisciplined, you don't know how to be, you don't know how to wait, you don't know what you're looking for. You know what that problem is, so just fucking fix it. Okay? And there's maybe problems that you don't know what the problem is. Right? It could see, like you're taking good setups, it's not working out. Okay, maybe you look back. Again, zoom out. What's the actual root cause of this problem here? Is it a technical? Is it psychological? Is it, what is it, right? So getting through dry periods, first thing that you need to focus on is building back that confidence. Lower your size and just spend a couple weeks, if not a month, just building back that confidence, right? Because without confidence, you have nothing. You don't have an edge. When you have a strategy, even if you get a setup that looks good, if you're constantly on a losing streak, you will always hesitate to take that trade because you think it's going to go against you. When you've been built up in the past, week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, and you're constantly losing on a losing streak, every sort of setup that you automatically have more hesitation to take that trade and automatically have more, anxiety and stress with that trade because you're used to losing. You're used to these setups probably getting fucked and you think your edge is broken, so you're automatically hesitant. That's why lower your size, start trading those same setups again, building confidence back, figuring out, okay, what was failing, what is working, right? Market conditions, recognizing that as well. And then once you can slowly build that confidence back up, that's when you apply risk again back on the table, and you can maybe start to, regain capital in that sense. I like to think I'm still very early in my journey. I've been trading for 4 years. I don't plan to go anytime soon. I have found what I love. I love trading, and I love everything it brings. It tests me, and I love testing myself. I want to improve as a person, and I hope you guys do as well. And trading is one of those jobs where you'll be tested. You'll be tested mentally, financially. You'll test yourself, right? It's hard. I remember the day where it was my third account that I ended up blowing. I was working 2 jobs at the time, and I had saved up probably a couple months during the summer, and I had an account, and the day that I ended up blowing it out, absolutely, literally zero, the last day. It's crazy how that can affect everything. First time in my trading career where I really contemplated just not doing this anymore. And I basically said to myself, I'm like, I can't keep losing money. Like, I'm just burning capital. This is not smart. I can't keep justifying burning money. I can't justify burning money. And that's when I had a realization. I'm so focused on changing my life right now financially when I shouldn't be focused on that right now. Look at where you are. Look at what trading is. Look at an entire journey of what it takes to be successful. Always go back to the college analogy. You pay how much in tuition to go to a college for 4 years to get a degree? In that 4 years, you are paying for knowledge, experience. After those 4 years, when you get a degree, 5 years, whatever it is, then you try to get a job, and then you start getting paid a salary. Trading is the exact same thing. You're going into your first year expecting to make $1 million. Going into your second year expecting to make a bunch of money. Going into your third year expecting to make a bunch of money. It takes time. Trading is just like a college. You pay your tuition and losses. Your losses is that experience. Your losses is what is going to be growing you. Constantly gaining experience every day, wins and losses. And when you're focused on making money so early in your journey, in your career, you forget about what you're fucking focusing on. Most of the people that watch me, most of the people in my Discord, you guys are young. And even if you're not, like any age, you have time. I don't care if you're 60, 50, 40, anywhere. You have so much time. And when you just stop thinking about making money and stop thinking about, changing your entire, again, I get it. You want to change. Everybody wants to change. You're here to make money. You're here to have financial freedom. I get it. But when you're in your early stages, learn to focus on the right things. And those things are going to carry you way farther than what you think. Being able to come into the market, not focused on making money, and just focused primarily on execution and gaining experience. I guarantee you, if you took 6 months, every single one of you, and you traded, let's say you trade my size right now, right? Like my normal size that I've been trading is, like 5 minis, right? 6 minis. If I take 6 months, or you, and trade 10% of that size, 10% of that size, I'm not focused on making money. Again, you have to be working a job on the side. You have to have some sort of income on the side, right? If working a 9 to 5, you're not yet profitable, not yet successful. Continue to do whatever you're doing now. Again, you're not going to quit your job, in your first year of trading. It's not how it's going to work. Continue to work, provide for you, and on the side, continuing to sharpen your edge day in and day out, every single day, you coming into the market, sharpening, right? Sword gets dull, maybe a little bit, right? Confusion, sharpen it. All that comes with just experience. Thousands of hours constantly putting into the market, seeing what's working, what's not working, seeing those things then repeat. And then once those things start repeat, you then apply a risk. And you're like, okay, let me enter here. Okay, now I have a sample size, right? Looking at these things, using that experience to your advantage, seeing things replicate, and then trying things out, gaining sample size with it, seeing how you can tweak it, seeing how all of these things is what's going to, gain experience. And then when you have confidence with something, you know that it works. You have an edge in the market, right? Because a lot of traders can't come to the market and be like, you know what? I think this is going to happen. I think, draw is this. This is this, and this is why, right? And the reason why a lot of traders can't do that is because they don't have confidence in their strategy. They're just straight up lying to you when they say, hey, the, MACD cross, I think it's going to go here. It sounds like you have no fucking clue what you're talking about, whatever it is. Now, if somebody can deeply thorough explain and show that they have confidence with, whatever it is, that's why I love our strategy, understanding draw and liquidity, understanding everything, building confidence, you then are unstoppable, unbeatable. And again, understanding setbacks are a part, rekindling that, because you'll go through highs and lows, right? For example, last month, up around 40K on the month. This month, I'm so far down, around 15K, right? That's not good, right? I've been on the worst losing streak this entire year. This has been my worst losing streak this entire year in the history of tactical traders. It happens, right? But knowing that I can't let myself spiral and I can't let myself push that hole deeper, right? I'm stopping myself, recognizing my conditions, saying, okay, this has been a problem, right? How am I going to fix this? I'm going to lower my size. I'm going to build back that confidence, take my time, right? Market's not going anywhere. I'm still very early on my journey. Relax, guys. Relax. You're not in a rush. Don't be in a rush. Trading takes time. When you stop thinking about making money and primarily just start thinking on gaining experience, every day you wake up, just be excited to look at the market. Be excited to test things, right? Be excited. Don't put yourself in a scenario where you can get badly hurt when you're so early on in this journey. You're so early on. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can get burned like I did, where you're constantly working, and then you put all that money in trading just to gamble it away and lose it because you're focused on just getting lucky, making that quick, easy money. Trading is not easy money. It's not quick, easy money. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of hardship. And if you're not willing to put in that work and deal with that emotional battle, it's going to be very hard for you. Now, I truly believe anybody could do this. I don't think I'm special in that sense. All I did is just I had a drive. I knew what I wanted. I just know what I want. And I was going to do whatever it takes to get there. And a lot of people can't do that. You need to have the mindset that you will do whatever it takes. Failure is not an option. But you have to be focused on the right things. Because if you're focused, you could just be wasting time if you're focused on the wrong things, because you'll keep going years because you don't want to fail. You're not going to let, failure be an option. But if your idea of success is primarily just making, fast, easy money, when you're focused on making fast, easy money, that's going to end up building bad trading habits that end up going to hurt you in the future. Now, you might think short-term success ends up bringing you to, you think that, you're profitable, but you've been building such bad habits over time that let's say you have, a good, strong week, maybe a good, strong next week, and you've been building such bad habits over time, and then this time you're like, oh, I'm on top of the fucking world. I've just been, destroying. And then you come into a week where you get, bad market conditions. You haven't been following good risk management. You've just been getting pretty much lucky. But since you've been winning, you think you've been building good habits, right? Because you're focused on just, growing your account, making more money. And when you come into a week where, you're seeing new actions, seeing, uncontrolled stuff, and you don't know how to apply good risk, you expect the same outcome of what's before, right? Well, it's like, well, I've been on a fucking hot streak the last 2 weeks, so I'm overconfident, I'm egoed at this point, and I'm not following good risk management. I'm not following good position sizing because I think it's like the market's so easy right now. It's like I enter and I win. And when you have that mindset, again, there's two different ways it can flip against you. It can feel like, you can feel like you can't win at all. Every single loss goes against you. You feel like, and then there's, times where it feels like you can't lose. And those are the times when you need to be very, very careful. Listen to that again. The two times where you need to be careful is when it feels like you can't lose and when it feels like you can't win. Those are the times where you take a step back and figure out where you are. I truly believe anybody could do this. Trading is hard. It's going to take time. And we have time. You have plenty of time. Trust me, you have plenty of time. Embrace this journey because it is something special that you will look out. Even again, trading, I'm not even saying financially, trading has completely changed my life. Completely changed my life. And that's like, even if I didn't even make any money, it has changed me as a person, the way I think, the way I can understand myself, recognize my own emotion, control myself. It has changed my life in that sense. And I think putting in the effort, focus on this goal, make this happen for yourself. Prove to yourself that you can do this. Because I needed that. As a kid, I didn't have confidence in myself. And I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this. And doing that makes me feel like I can accomplish anything now. Keep working hard. It's going to take time. I know how you're feeling because I've been there before. It is hard. When you keep working hard and you focus on the right things and you wake up every morning with a smile on your face and you're thankful for where you're at and you love yourself, but you push yourself at the same time. You push yourself because you love yourself. You're building discipline. I truly believe if you do all those things and you never give up, success is the only answer. It's the only outcome. So don't be discouraged by hardships. You'll always have hardships. You'll always have highs and lows in your life. Trading, highs and lows mentally, highs and lows throughout with family, highs and lows with friends, highs and lows with your job, highs and lows with anything. Always going to be highs and lows. Learning to navigate them is what's going to push you above the rest. Writing out the highs, enjoying it, pushing through the lows, understanding they're only temporary. It's temporary. If you're losing right now, if you feel lost, if you feel tired, you feel sad, depressed, whatever it is temporary. There is always tomorrow. There is always another day. You have a lot of time. So, hopefully this video helped you guys out in some sort of way. I really like making these more one-on-one kind of videos of just talking about, my experience and, psychology and kind of give you guys some motivation. And I like doing these videos because I needed that when I was going through early journey. And I still need that sometimes. And I kind of make these videos for myself, to be honest. I think these videos are me, like I have no script. It's just me talking to you guys. And it's kind of me just talking to myself as well. Because again, I want to be the best trader I can possibly be. And I want to be one of the best traders ever. And I think I can get there. And I think I will get there. I don't have any doubt. Because I have confidence with myself and I have confidence in my capabilities. And I know what I can do and I know that I will outwork. So, hopefully this helped you guys out. If you were feeling down, having hardships recently, this is just the beginning. Use this to your advantage. Use these setbacks. They happen. Get motivated. Get fucking pumped. Because this is an exciting journey. Keep working hard. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.